Greetings and welcome back to SmartWatchSticks.com. They look identical, don't they? They pretty much are, just different colors. Let's dive into the boxes and check out what ZORDAI has sent us today. These are the new OD1. We've seen other models with higher numbers, and this is the first one. Well, it's not necessarily a numerical sequence, but it's 01 for us. Here we go. There's a module in here in beautiful gold and really fun special beveled design. We take this off. You can see it up really close. Let me tell you about it, then we'll look at this one. Coming from AliExpress. You can pick this thing up for between $15 and $20. I mean, why am I bothering to review these, right? We spend, 20 minutes on this. Like $1 a minute worth. It's so inexpensive. This is the silver one, which we're actually going to take a look at here later after we unbox the gold and the black one. Inside this watch now, this 1.96-inch curved screen glass watch, we've got all kinds of good things. Up to 500 different faces in all different categories, and they're beautiful. Bluetooth calling watch, of course. It'll stream music. You're going to hear all that. Heart monitoring for blood pressure, pulse, blood oxygen. The ECG is really the same thing as heart rate. It's not true ECG. And sleep monitoring's in this one. You got your Siri or Google voice assistant built into this one with a quick double tap to get into it. NFC chip is in it. If you do that for unlocking locks and passing info back and forth between friends. Sedentary reminders in here, call reminders. You got all kind of information push just like regular smartwatches. Lots of different sporting modes, GPS tracking through the app now, not built into the watch itself. You got a weather built into this though, with connection through the app to get weather in your area. Lots of other functions, breath training, there's calculators, there's women's period tracking, a massager in it, all of that. And all these different languages are supported. Technical guys, here you go. 320 by 380 for standard probably IPS screen. It's not AMOLED, not at $18. No. Bluetooth 5 though. Capacity 260 milliamp hour battery should give you decent life, and it's using the ZORDAI app. So inside this box, we've got the same watch. However, this puppy is the black module, I believe. How do I know? At the end of the watch, there's a little sticker on it that tells me the color. Black. Tricky, huh? And here you are. Pull off the module, and we can just do a quick comparison. It's pretty much just the edge of the watch that's colored, and the bands, of course, are slightly different. So you have the option of picking up either the gold with this kind of a light gold brand, black with a similar type of watch band design, or you can grab the silver one with the silver band and the silver edging. All of them are available. Inside you've got the bands, right? You've got the unit itself, and underneath is a little charging wire, dual pin connection, USB charger, and a tiny little user's manual. There's that cover we pulled off that goes into some specifics about how to set the watch up, how to get yourself started, what you're going to find when you turn it on. You see it all that? Good. I think you can freeze frame it if you need to read through it carefully. Shows you all the different functions it's doing. This is all in the English side of the manual. The back side, of course, is in Chinese. There's the QR code. Again, we have the link in the show notes to the QR or to the app itself, ZORDAI, or just search for it in the Google Play Store to download. Or if you're an Apple fan, I guess in the Apple App Store. Some more basic information. More text-based, this particular manual, instead of pictures. And some more information back here. And, of course, Chinese over here. Let's run through everything on the silver one, shall we? There's only one button, so a long press and hold on the button will fire it up with a hello and a bounce into an opening watch face. Now check out, oh yeah, and a little chime. Check out the bezel. Look at the glass. Can you see the reflection on that? It's really nice. It cuts nicely and rolls on the sides. And there's the always on face, which when you have it tied in with the twist your wrist to see the time, watch this, you twist it, it'll come back to the always on face. It's great. I haven't seen watches do this. Usually it'll go back to the main watch face and then time out perhaps to the always on face. And of course it's not always on. It's on for maybe 5-6 seconds and then it goes off because it's not an AMOLED watch. So it's the best of all worlds. You can get a nice look at time quickly, analog or digital. We'll show you the digital later. And if you want to use the watch, you tap the button, you get into the true opening watch face like this. Now, when you slide down, you get an information panel. It looks like this. You got super bright brightness. We were running in literally at the lowest brightness, so make it a little higher here. You got the music player built right in. This is your Alipay, which we're not going to be using. It's only in China, not really set up for that. And then the information, which gives you the ZORDAI QR code to download. We'll be showing you the app in a little bit. And we recommend you go ahead and use a link in the show notes or tap in ZORDAI in your Google Play Store to get over there to it. But that's available right here directly from the pull-down menu. Off to the left, you get a pull outside panel that shows you messages sent from your phone. You can activate Bluetooth calling, which ties to your phone. And then these are your most recently used apps along with date and time as well. Coming off this way now, we've got a wheel that's showing us our overall step count, then the information and steps, distance traveled, and calories burned. And your steps per hour, but the scale is crazy short. These are like 200 to 300, maybe even 500 steps. That's like 10,000 steps per hour. There's something wrong. It's midnight to 24, but well, you'll see in the app that it's going to look a little bit, actually a lot higher than even that. So that's probably your step count. This is probably your distance, and that's probably your calories burned, but it's not marked as to what. So a little bit of improvement on that screen would be great. You land over here, it starts the diodes up, the green ones. I'm going to cover it just so that it'll work, and it'll go off and it'll do a blood heart rate pulse, a blood pulse reading for you. It's a simulated chart here. That's not the real chart going on, but it gives you information. You get the digits, and it's going to go back and forth for a minute or so before it finally vibrates with the final value. Come again, you're now into this thing called ECG. It's not really ECG. It's using the diode, just like the heart rate. You notice I'm not having to touch the sides of the panel to get it working, although I'm not getting a chart, so maybe I do to activate it. There, we got it started, but I don't have to keep holding it because it's not really using electrical signal. It's using the optical signal in the back. We're getting the same heart rate with ECG that we got here from heart rate. So this is a simulated process, but it's using the real same diodes to get a real heart rate, but there's no difference between the two. Hit the plus sign and you can add all these different things to it if you'd like. What have we got? We got blood oxygen. Come in here, you could do your basic blood oxygen. It's using green diode, not red now. Of course, it's a very inexpensive watch. Red would be preferred, but it is doing it at least, giving you a percentage, usually between 95 and 100%. Come over, we could add something else. What would you like? How about weather? Okay. Weather in Fahrenheit or centigrade in your area. No forecast, but basically the current conditions are shown there. And that's it. We don't get another plus sign to add anything else. So you have to pick out which ones you want. But you saw them there, and we'll get to them here in just a moment. Back to the watch faces. Press and hold. We can change to different faces. Here's an interesting, colorful analog face. A nice, bright digital face. Here's a digital face with some data on it. Dial 6 is showing you, let's go into that one, your step count, calories, heart rate, and calories burned with a nice big bright display. Very nice edge to edge with the curved edge. It looks great. And I wanted to show you, you also have a custom watch face you can download. I brought in this really fun, colorful one. We'll see that in the listing of faces on the app. With it Halloween coming up, I just, wow, purple and orange and yellow, analog. And then it times out, goes into the analog always on. Beautiful. Okay, let's show you the digital version of this. To get that, we need to get into the settings. And to get to the settings, we're going to slip up. We're going to go all the way down. We'll come back and look at all of these. But I want to get you into settings. You have languages, your dial switch. This is where you can change the faces if you want to. Here we go. The screen on and off. This is where we are. We're going to come in here. You can turn on a bedside lamp, so if you're charging the watch, it'll show you the time, or it'll be black. Our screen off is style 1. We're going to go to the digital style 2. And your screen time, you can run from 5 seconds up to a minute. We're running it at 10. Let's go 20 seconds just for fun. We're going to come out of here, come out of here. While we're in here, we'll go ahead and talk about vibration intensity. You have 3 different levels for that. Your power savings mode, open or closed. To save power, of course. Here's your ringtone settings. You can have it ring the phone, messages, alarm clock, and set all of that stuff up too. You can put a password on here, which is what you need if you have Alipay, and a full factory reset of the watch as well, and that's in the settings. We're going to come up to the top and go through all of these after this commercial. No, just kidding. You get the commercials whenever they want to give them to you. After we time this puppy out and let it go into the digital display. That's what I wanted you to see. And again, it's locked out of here, but you have the twist your wrist. If you've got that activated, it'll come into the digital, and press the button. It'll go into whatever face you've chosen. Really nice overall implementation of this. Okay, here we go. Phone, messaging, contacts, call records, all of that stuff has to do with the Bluetooth calling. Speakers right here, microphones over here. We'll sample the speaker and sound with some music we'll play here in a little bit. You've got your sports, which is all of the different activities you can activate from the watch. There's no GPS directly in here, but from the app, you can tie in. Look at this, fight sports. Wow, that's cool, really. And that's a subcategory I haven't seen. Boxing, Tai Chi is a fight sport, okay. Judo, fencing, wow. Karate, wow. Okay, indoor activities. So there's a lot of stuff in here, and it's broken down into different categories as well. When you have something like cycling or running or walking, like I said, you can tie it in with the phone, run it from the phone, and get GPS tracking against Google Maps if you want to. Snow sports, wow. Puzzle sports. How many calories does it take to play bridge or checkers? Wow, interesting, interesting. Blood sugar. Haven't talked about that much, but this watch supposedly does it using green diode technology. There is no record of it. It's not showing up on the watch or in the app anywhere except for right here at the time that it takes the reading. And I really can't give you any feel for if it's legitimate or simulated or what. It's just a pulsing drop of blood, I guess, with a number. And I'm getting 6.0 mmol per liter, 6.2 and so forth. So you do get a blood glucose reading is all I can tell you, and that continues to bounce around. Here's heart rate. We saw it already. ECG, as I told you, is the same as heart rate. It's not really ECG. You do have blood pressure and blood oxygen readings in this one as well. And in the app, you'll see you have a category for that. Now, heart rate is set up too. You can have continuous heart rate. But blood pressure, blood oxygen are one-time measurements, and you need to do them here from the watch. NFC, we talked about. There's your music player. We'll get back to that. Last night's sleep time. Here it is. last 7 days sleep. I wonder what happened to number 1. Interesting. Anyway, light and deep sleep are shown with a total, but there's more of a breakdown in the app. You have a basic stopwatch in here, but it's locked. Press the button and it stops it. Leave it, come back in, it resets it, so it does not run in the background. You can change your time zones. You got your weather, basic information we already saw. There's the QR code for syncing up your business cards and such, which you do from the app. Motion trajectory now, no record of this, and I haven't really used it, but supposedly this is where you would see your trajectory, probably not against the Google map, but just maybe the squiggle from an activity that you do that produces that. Here's where you can set your date and time and your time format if you'd prefer 24-hour. Your voice assistant, Google, or what's the other one? Oh, yeah, that Siri person, yeah. No, not ChatGPT. That's a different watch. We do have reviews of the first watches that have ChatGPT built into them, and Siri, and Google, not Bing. Still waiting to see Bing come out on one of these. Alarm clocks, a nice bright overall flashlight that lights up that's really bright. It goes to the fullest brightness of the watch when it's on. You've got Alipay, emergency number that you can put in so that if you trip and fall or something and you have your phone with you and your Bluetooth connected and everything's working, it'll place that call. You got a simple little calculator in here divided by something or other will give you a nice answer. Good sized digits, easy to read. Find your phone, tap that, it's going to ring the phone, which I have in silent over there right now. Overall breath training for inhaling and exhaling and relaxing so you're not talking as fast and hyper as Uncle Tick's trying to get this whole thing done in time for you to have dinner, right? There's a massager. You do this and the watch vibrates and you could like put it against your neck or something wherever you'd like and get some nice relief. Lady assistant. I guess you could call a period tracker, something like that. Here it is, and yippee, safe period. What do you know? Menu style, you've got it in all these different ways of showing your icons on here. We're doing the basic text style, but you can have the bubble kind and you name it, all kinds. Wow, the phone is still going off over there. I hear it vibrating. Countdown timers, you can set the minutes for it to go. You've got drainage. Now it's vibrating here to drain water out of the speakers if you're swimming with it. Guess it's waterproof, huh? Okay. Air pressure's the next one. And this is the actual calculated air pressure, I believe, from your location. It's not doing it with a pressure sensor inside, but it's giving you basically the pressure, not a barometric estimate of weather conditions, but the pressure, if you need the air pressure, like you're hiking up a mountain or something. But again, I wouldn't rely on it by doing the data from a pressure receiver inside the watch itself. Pretty much sure it's getting your latitude and longitude and telling you what the air pressure is based on the weather in that location. And then settings, we went quickly through here. You have all these different languages. You've seen many of these before in their actual format of the language. So a lot of them I don't even understand because I can't read them. Your dial switch was the watch faces. Your on and off, we just tried and changed them, and I'm going to change this back to the analog watch. I like that, and so forth. We went through all the rest of these already. That's pretty much it. These are all the different apps, and they are accessible by swiping up, right? Okay, and all of these things we've showed you, including the very end where you can tap and hold to remove one of these, or as many as you'd like to. Come into the plus, and we could have put pressure in here, sleep time, weather, or the music. Music! Yes, we didn't do the music yet. Let's do that. Here we go. Tap it, and that's the music coming out of the watch. Now, the speaker is right here. And you can silence the whole thing simply by touching. So when it's on your wrist, you can reach over with your thumb and mute it if you need to. Yeah. Of course, you can pause it, go forward and backward. There's no volume control on this music player, however. When you're back at the main screen, you can slide down, and we have the music player here as well, right? And there we go. The Tethering app. Now, it's ZORDAI from the same company that actually makes the watch, which is not too common that the company makes its own Tethering app, but that means they have control over the entire project, which is great. This is the Google Play Store showing. This is the icon to look for. That's the name. You can Google it. You can go directly to the Play Store, or you can use our link in the show notes. When you have it installed, boom, it went right here. That's because first thing you got to do is install it, then set up an account, then pair it with the phone or with the watch, and then, of course, synchronize your data. We've done all that already. It's pretty straightforward. Once you get to that point, you'll land in this first tab here called Health, and these are all the different things it tracks for you. If this is blue up here, it means you're tethered properly. When you tap this button, you'll get into your step count. Shows you the steps throughout the day on a 24-hour period, your total steps for the day, and of course, your basic calories and distance travel. You can see a synopsis by week, month, and year as well, and you can change the date at any time you want. When you go into sports records, these are runs, walks, those kind of things, cycling and climbing that you can do when you take the phone with you, so you have a GPS connection and you can see your track on the map. The watch, of course, doesn't have GPS in it directly, so if you want that feature as you execute the sports from the phone, you'll be able to tie in, get your heart rate, things like that, and get your overall track. Now we get into these different cards down here. First is sleep. It's showing us last night's sleep time. Now when I touch it, it goes really dim. I don't know why that is. That is so crazy. I come back out, and there it's nice and bright. So I'll show it to you bright, and then I'll slide up. You see the different colors. You got awake, REM sleep, light sleep, and deep sleep. And as you come up, you'll see the color codings for those down here. Wow. That time it didn't. Okay. You know, it might dim out so that I can touch one and give you the information specifically for that. That's probably what's going on. The time and the amount of minutes that you were in that state. The summary of each of those are shown here, including rapid eye movement. Not too many do the REM sleep computation for you. It requires it monitoring you all night long for that. Heart rate now. Here I've got continuous heart rate from midnight up to the present. We're about 2/3 of the way through the day here, and it's giving you the numbers. You can touch here and see what your actual reading is at that particular time. The range, your resting heart rate, maximum and minimum heart rate are shown for that day. Summary for week, month, and year as well. You've got blood pressure. Now, you don't get continuous blood pressure, but you do get individual readings. Here's one at 1025 shown here. Gives you your basic mean, which is your middle systolic blood pressure, and your systolic range, and same thing for systolic. Now, it's mean and not average, because sometimes you get crazy numbers, right, with blood pressure. So it's more or less taking the middle reading after you have a bunch of them. So this is probably more close to accurate in terms of what your average, but really mean heart rate or blood pressure is throughout the day. It's a better way, in other words, of doing it. Kind of like the sales of houses in your neighborhood. There might be a house that sells for $10 million and everything else sells in the 100,000s range. If you averaged it, every house would be like really, really high, but it's not. There's one or two numbers are off. And so using the mean instead of the average is a better way of portraying blood pressure. Not so with blood oxygen. Here we have a reading right there. You can tap it and get the reading range, 97 to 98 at 10 in the morning. No continuous blood oxygen reading either, but you get the range and the latest reading shown here. If you want specifics, you can kind of hone in on it this way. I'd like to see continuous blood oxygen, because during the night you might see dips, which could be representative of breathing issues, that where you're holding your breath or something. So That would be nice, but you do have blood oxygen readings individually as long as you execute it from the watch. And then, ladies, your cycle information. You set up when you start, your length, and your average duration, and it will calculate where you are in the cycle period. And, of course, you can see that on the watch as well. Now, you have edit for cards. These are all of them here. You can rearrange them. There's another one for ECG detection, and I purposely have left that off because it's not really true. We've explained that before. It's really doing just basic heart rate, just like the regular heart rate. I won't go into a lot of detail, but the chart that you get, if you get a chart, is repeating from a simulation. It's not an actual reading per se on the watch. So I would recommend don't use ECG. Don't refer to it here. You best if you just edit the card and take it off, and don't even mess around with that, because it's definitely not accurate. It's a simulation giving you the same results for everybody. Sports, this is your sporting area again now, that you can execute all these different activities, where over here on health under sport record is where you would see the results. You with me on that? This is where you actually do it. Your device now, this is known as ZORDAI. It's actually the OD1. You can sync the data from here. It's connected. You have a whole variety of different watch faces in here that you can load, and they're all free from what I can tell. They are set up if they need to charge money eventually for them, they could. You got them in categories, simple, solar ones. They show you 3, and then you can go into more on any of these if you'd like to. This category up here, the new products, is pretty extensive, and that's where I got the face that we're using on the watch right now. Come on up here with all that really deep purple and orange colors, nice for Halloween time frame. This is one of the stock ones. You've seen that on the watch and so forth. So lots and lots and lots and lots of faces. Some of you guys live by the faces, so I'm going to go through them. If you like cards, King, Queen, Jack of the different suits are here. There's the one we downloaded already. This is a nice one too. Digital, analog, and they load up, of course, because they're coming in from a server, and then once you touch on them, they'll download them. You can get big digital if you want to. A lot of tiger. There's You're the Rabbit. That's all in here too. That one's kind of fun. Anyway, lots of watch faces in these different categories. And now you get into all your setup. Incoming call and SMS, you can set those up right here. All your different app notifications from your phone push to the watch. You can control that. Then you have settings for sedentary reminder, water, and an overall reminder mode. Bright screen shock or screen and vibration. What do you want the watch to do when you're being reminded? And it'll do that, whatever settings you do. You can find the watch, tap on here, and you hear it? Wow, that was quick. Okay, let's try that again. It's also vibrating. Yeah, you get a nice little sound out of it to find the watch. Your QR code is where you set up these different social media things and others as well, with a QR code that you can share with others to friend you, I guess. Your frequent contacts would all appear here. You have to add these from your phone into there in order to be on your watch. Remote camera, your daily alarm clock, Bluetooth calling you turn on here. NFC now for business card or email, and it tells you that it's basically used for unencrypting door locks and things like that, as long as it works on this default standard NFC frequency. But it does have NFC built into it. You can activate or turn off the twist your wrist to see the time. Here's where you give the continuous heart rate monitoring. If it's 0 to 0, it'll be all day. You can set it as low as 10 minutes and as high as once an hour. I keep it at every 10 minutes or so. You have do not disturb mode available for you too, and you can set that up on time. And then firmware, and it looks like I got a firmware update. We'll have to play with that later on. that you can activate. So the company does push firmware updates to the watch, which is a really nice thing to see. That keeps it accurate. And then there's you. Here's your basic information, your goals that you can set up for sleep and walking, your overall unit selection in here for your temperature and other things. You can have Google Maps or A Map. Never got A Map to work in the US, but Google Maps works. Check for updates and permissions and other things. And that's the app. Sweet. So all in all, this is really a nice watch for everything that it does. You've got lots of different faces that you can choose from, lots of different controls, your basic fitness, health information, music player, Bluetooth streaming, lots of different apps, stopwatch, calculator, ladies' period tracking, weather, a flashlight, lots of different ways of displaying the information as well. And of course, you got it in these different colors. In gold, really nice, with a pink band, or black with a black band. Both colors, and silver are available. And you can pick it up directly from AliExpress. It is the OD1 from ZORDAI, and it's a sweet little watch for $15 to $20. Can't go wrong. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.